This is the Mack G Show.
Welcome to episode 9 of the Mack G Show. This is a special episode for two reasons. Number one, we have a remote guest. So thanks to the wonderful people at Riverside, we are trying out their technology. Hopefully it works, right? And number two, we have our first guest from the state of Connecticut. So as a teaser for our conversation coming up, I have a quick question for you, Ricky.
For me.
For you. When is the last time you threw a javelin?
Let me think. I have never thrown a javelin.
Do you really think you've never thrown a javelin?
I mean, in high school,
because if track and field would be the only place to have one. Right?
I was on the cross country team, but that's not
no javelins.
That's no javelins.
Gotcha. I think I tried throwing it a couple times. I ran track. I was more of a jumper and a sprinter, and I clearly wasn't good enough because they didn't let me throw it again. So, all right, that's a little bit of a teaser.
Okay.
What I would like, anything else? Are you
it
good?
Sounds like an interesting thing, though. I like to see when people throw it. It's it looks cool.
I was really good at. Remember, there was a video game, the Konami video game, where you could do track and field.
Yes.
I think I was good at the javelin.
Yeah.
For that.
You know what? That's the last time I threw a javelin.
If that's
virtually.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't say if it was a real javelin.
Right.
All right. Are you all good?
I'm great.
Let me get to the intro. So today we're joined by Jesse Skirvin, a Connecticut native with a remarkable journey. Born and raised in Farmington and now living in Pine Meadow, Jesse grew up as an only child, excelling in sports like baseball and track, where he became a state qualifier in the shot put and the javelin. He graduated from Central Connecticut State University with a degree in finance and spent 15 years in financial services, managing banks and advising clients, even running his own firms. In 2018, Jesse made a bold career shift into IT and software sales. A certified nutrition coach since 2022, his passion for health and fitness is central to his life. Jesse's also a devoted husband to his wife, Alex, proud pet dad to 2 dogs and 2 cats, and someone who loves traveling, history, music, and a good book. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Skirvin.
Thanks, John.
How
Happy
are
to
you?
be here. Good. I'm good. I didn't realize I was special. That's,
You are. You know what? We're all special.
That
You
was
are too.
nice. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's you.
Yeah.
There's no lies in there, right?
No lies. Nope.
So that is awesome.
No lies.
So I think we'll start with growing up in Connecticut. So any interesting stories, as a kid in Connecticut, or anything unique to growing up in Connecticut?
I mean, I'm from a very small town, graduated maybe 205 kids. So suburbia, nothing too exciting. As far as myself, I grew up sort of around a gym, which is sort of unique to, I think, most people, right? So my dad owned a gym from 1978 to about 1980 and spent a lot of time there.
And the reason why he owned a gym is because that was something that was important in his life, right? Because
he was on the U.S. Olympic team for weightlifting from 1973 to 1980. So, although he had a full-time job as an electrician, he ran a gym with he had 2 business partners, my uncle and another gentleman who, between their schedules, they all had other jobs. They just sort of made it happen. They figured it out as far as having the gym open. I believe it was 5 to 5 every day. So. So I spent a lot of time there. It was unique, I will say,
So back in that day, like nowadays, you've got all the, you've got Planet Fitness, you've got a lot of chains and stuff. Back then, they really weren't
weights.
any, right?
Like
was that
weights,
maybe
Gold's
weights. Gym might have been the only one that was a chain or something?
Yeah, it was probably just Gold's at that point. Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sure over the years, some good relationships your dad had with the people coming in, and probably you as well, right? If you were in there all the time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. A very different environment, right? No treadmills back then. Yeah. Only free weights, dumbbells, and some limited machines, right? It was
so
very
how
different.
old were you when you first started lifting, and how old are you supposed to be when you first start lifting?
So I mean,
you broke the rules.
6.
You broke 6.
Yeah,
but you're supposed to start in your early teens, right?
12, I thought.
Well, what's funny about that? That's sort of a wives' tale. As long as the form is there, it's fine for kids. The old sort of wives' tale of, you do heavy weights, you'll stunt your growth is not not correct.
I must have done a lot of weights when I was a kid.
So as long as it's done correctly and you're not adding a lot of load, it's actually great for kids to grow and to get stronger quicker.
Wow.
Right.
And clearly that's become a part of your life. Like you can't, like it's in your DNA.
From birth, pretty much.
And that's a good thing.
Question for you. You were an only child.
I was.
How did that shape? Do you think that shaped your personality and interests? You know, that's kind of a unique thing. I grew up with 3. I was the baby boy. So do you think the only child thing helped kind of shape you as a individual? And
100%. I think, having to figure out what to do on your own is something I got good at. Right. So, and I was in a small neighborhood, so there weren't a lot of kids around in general. So, I'm perfectly fine hanging out by myself. And, but it also, when I did have the access to people, it was important that I engaged. Right. So I think, some of my success in sales in general, I think has a lot to do with, when you did have the ability to connect with people, you had to really engage. Right. So, I think that, and overall, I think I was shy in the beginning a little bit, because I didn't have siblings to sort of follow, right. As far as how they communicate with one another. So hung out with adults a lot, or in my room.
Well, at the gym too, right? You probably have a lot of pseudo brothers and sisters at the gym.
Sure.
And you said you had your cousin that you spent a lot of time with, that you were very close with?
Yeah. So my cousin grew up in Peabody, Mass, and also into track and field and weightlifting, like myself, and about the same age. Came down to visit me a lot. I was up there quite a bit, and actually he made the States as well for shot put. Wow. Very similar, I think. And he was also an only child. So
okay, all right, cool. Anything else to point out growing up in Connecticut? If not, we can shift towards kind of career stuff, or anything else you wanted to share.
Connecticut's kind of boring, I'll say. not a lot going on. We have no professional sports teams anymore, right? It's that's a nice little area. I don't know if I put it in there or not, but we have a little Connecticut trivia thing. I don't want to steal the thunder, but
Connecticut's tricky. Sometimes it's New York, sometimes it's
you're part of the tri-state area, and you're part of New England, right?
Correct. Yep.
It's like part of 2 crews there.
Yeah.
Well, typically mid Connecticut up are typically Red Sox, New England fans, and middle down is usually Yankees and Giants fans.
Well, I told you, right? My dad was born and raised in Hartford, so Connecticut is kind of near and dear to my heart. But they were all Red Sox, like Boston fans. Again, I don't know why, but because Hartford could be a mix, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It is probably 50-50.
Yeah. So they were on the Boston side.
My father-in-law, and people his age, they were Giants fans because
that was the only game in town.
That was the only game in town. So, we have an older generation, like our parents, that were Giants fans, because there was no.
I think a lot of them jumped off the bandwagon when Tom Brady was quarterbacked.
Well, yeah, but I mean, still, it's some people, it's in their family, and they were Giants fans.
Yep. I would agree. All right, you good?
I don't love the Giants, by the way. They killed a perfect season. I don't want to talk about it.
Are you a Giants fan? Are you a Giants fan?
They literally killed my. It was the worst loss in my.
So let's go over this. You're Giants, Yankees.
Yeah.
You were the Whalers, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Back in the day.
Did you go Knicks?
I was.
Like over
Knicks
Celtics?
or Nets? Or the Celtics?
Celtics, honestly.
Probably, because they were winning.
Yeah, they were always good.
Yeah, and also I think
because the Red Sox weren't back then.
My cousin did have some influence, right? He couldn't get me from Yankees to Red Sox and from Giants to Patriots, but Celtics I probably would follow more. I'm not a big basketball fan in general, but
it's tough with the
Celtics
Whalers.
Would be my team.
Like over the Bruins too. I mean, the Whalers were, they used to kind of get, like beat on by the Bruins. It's like a.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, we're not going to move on yet. No, I thought I put this in the notes, but any interesting stuff with the javelin and the track and the state and the baseball, like anything that sticks out?
I like you put that in front of everything. Yeah. The track, the baseball.
Yeah.
Any
goofy stories? No.
No one got impaled or
I was
anything.
gonna say, did you ever throw the shot put at someone and hit him in the foot?
I was hoping.
I mean, some people had gotten very close when you're out in the field events. You're out, never have your back to a thrower.
Don't they have different ones now that are safer? Supposedly, I thought I saw.
I mean, something like that flying in the air. I don't care what you got on the end.
No,
of it.
maybe high schools. No, maybe high schools have. I feel like maybe high schools have modified it. I'm sure in the Olympics, it's the real deal.
Sure,
but I feel like I saw something. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know.
Maybe not. All right, let's shift to career. So, went to school for finance, was in that world for 15 years. I guess things that you learned there, and at what point and why did you decide I got to get out?
So, first job out of college really was bank manager. So, learned real quickly how to manage people. So, some of my hardest daily activities was managing my staff. Not everyone gets along, very different personalities, but learned a lot about banking and how to manage money, right? In the real world, right? And also about fraud. Unfortunately, a lot of my role within the bank was helping folks who, check sent to, I got a check from, India, and I'm going to wire this person the difference, and it was bad. Yeah. Lots of, unfortunately, people taking advantage of the elderly, and lot of that.
Was that before the Nigerian prince scam had hit the streets?
It was about the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, that happened a lot, it happened a lot. And,
I'm assuming older customers maybe, right? Cause they probably pray.
Yeah. And there was, so where my branch was in Wethersfield, there was a retirement community apartment complex behind us. And we had a lot of their accounts, and several, unfortunately, older women had to come in, and they had some of their families using their debit cards and, stealing money out of accounts. And it's
what rough. Can you do other than point out that it happened? There's no, you can't give them the money back, can you?
Yes. So what you can do is there's affidavits. So if, let's say, someone stole your money, you sign an affidavit saying, okay, if I prosecute whoever they find out did it, as long as you prosecute them, we will give you your money.
So sometimes you do that and you can't find them. So that's just a nice thing that the bank's doing.
But typically the person that they find is a family member.
I was going to say it's a family
friend.
member. So that's, you got to.
Yeah. So it's tough.
But guess what? I don't give an F. If
I know, but you're going after them and.
They stole your money.
I know.
Well, the other thing,
I don't have a problem with that.
And in this case, it was this poor woman's granddaughter. And it's like, okay, do you press charges and set this girl up?
But she already set it up. She already must have agreed to it. Or?
Yeah. What do you mean? Oh yeah. She's already signed the affidavit, but she still has to continue on and actually go to the police and press charges.
And that could screw her up for the she could have a. Is that a felony? It's a felony. Well, I don't know how much.
I mean, it's a federal offense.
Well, it sounds like that granddaughter's pretty screwed up now, though. If she's stealing money from Nana.
Grandma. I mean, she was. I think the granddaughter was around 18, 19. So
just looking to have fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
How far? So, is Wethersfield near where you grew up? Was it close to where you grew up, or
it's no? I mean, it's about a half hour, 45 minutes.
So I should have asked, how far away from New York City did you grow up? Like, was that a cool place to go if you were a teenager, or no?
Yeah,
or older
about 2 hours. 2 hours.
Oh, okay, so not. Yeah, it's not like it's.
So I'm where I grew up is pretty much 2 hours to Boston, 2 hours to New York City. So sort of smack dab in the middle.
Got it.
Of both cities. Yeah.
Got it. Any interesting stories running your own firm? Like, I know you do have an interesting story. I'm not sure if you're going to tell it or not, because I know there was some crap that went down, right?
Yeah, well, got to be careful what I say. And I will say this. Being a small business owner, you have two jobs, right? And I learned that very quickly. You have your craft, whatever that is, right? Managing people's money, or electrician, or whatever, but you also have to run the business, right? You're dealing with books, you're dealing with marketing, you're dealing with taxes, insurance, all the things, right? So you're really
guess who's a small business owner?
Okay,
it's a family business, but yeah, like you said, like workman's comp, and managing the people, I think, is harder than
you never stole money from your dad or grandmother, though.
No.
That's why he's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm wonderful. Yeah. But it's hard to run a small business. just like people are, I think, worse now than they were then. It's tough.
Well, I
I'm
also
trying to
think
hire
it's a lot of people, again, they're good at their craft and they say, oh, well, I don't like my boss or I don't like this company. I'll go do it on my own. And it's like, they go to do it and they're like, oh, wow, this is a lot harder than I thought. I actually have risk here. Right. And there's other things to do outside of just, whatever my actual daily activities are. Right.
Yep.
So I think that's.
And where were you in
don't realize.
finance with the whole 2008 crap?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I left a large financial firm at the absolute worst time. I left April of 2009 as the world was unraveling, both the secondary mortgage market and, the market blew up in general, right?
Wait, so that's when you left to go to IT,
say.
or that's when you left?
No. So that's 09 is when I left. I was with MetLife, a very large financial institution at the time, and I went independent with two partners.
You went out on your own at that time.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
tough.
I mean, that was really tough. Right.
Right.
And, we all had non-competes, right? So we're starting from scratch pretty much, which was tough. It was a tough year, but
made you stronger.
It for sure did. Yeah. Resilience.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So when and why did you make the shift saying, all right, I'm done with finance. Let me try something else?
So a couple reasons. One, the hours were challenging to say the least, because most of the time, I'd say more affluent clients were a little older and wouldn't want to travel to my office. And that meant a lot of appointments. I was on the road. I'd start an appointment at 7:00 at night. So I'm getting home 10 o'clock sometimes, right? But I'm still in the office 7:30 in the morning. So that's a very long day, 5 days a week, right? And it's when you're on your own, you're on your own. There's no sort of resources, and that paycheck can fluctuate quite a bit, right? You don't necessarily have a financial backing. So that was also a piece of risk.
Was your game at the time though? If once you sign on that client, now it's an annuity. So does that, if you stuck with it, does that story get better? Like next year, you're like, all right, I sold Mrs. Green, whatever, and I'm going to get that again this year. Let me go. Okay. So like you're getting
it depends on the product, right? So if you're selling insurance, right, which is what I specialized in, you usually got paid up front a certain amount of money and a commission, right? And then sometimes there was a trail. If it's fee-based investments, right? Your customers paying you a fee each year. I mean, that for sure is going to pay you every year, but it's
so it's kind of like it was more like sales. You're getting on the treadmill every year. You start at zero.
Pretty
much.
For the most
part. Okay.
For my part of the business was life insurance, disability insurance. I did a lot of like wealth planning and wealth transfer through life insurance.
Wait,
and
someone
trusts.
from Connecticut being involved in insurance?
Yeah, right.
That doesn't sound. I want to say that other than my dad, I think everyone in his family had something to do with insurance. It's just that's the
insurance capital of the world.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you long hours. I don't know if I can do this anymore. You change gears and get into kind of sales IT. Would you have any advice to people that are starting to question kind of their own industry now? And if it's time, I mean, our age probably not, but if there's a younger crowd listening, any recommendations for, hey, listen, don't think you're stuck. If you take the chance, I don't know. Any advice there?
Well, I think do your research, right? Before you're making a jump, understand income potential, risk, right? But make sure whatever you're doing, there's some carryover, right? I mean, I was a financial advisor, but I was still in sales. I was doing, relationship building, trust, right? All the things that someone in sales needs to have. And I think in any sort of transition to another career, there has to be some sort of skills or carryover to the next career. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the same industry, right? I think it has a lot to do with understanding your, I don't want to say your gifts, but understanding your skills, right? And how you can maybe move that to a different industry. But I researched a lot before I made a move.
And nowadays, make sure that whatever industry you go into can't be replaced by AI.
I was just going to say that.
Were you going to say that?
Yes.
You were going to say AI? I know. It's unavoidable, right?
Right. And yeah, I mean, especially industries that are very transactional, or very mundane, maybe tasks, right? That's going to be a big disruptor, right? I think in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
One of my good friends was a radiologist, and he had just passed a few months back, but they were already using AI with reading. So his job was to read MRIs, CAT scans, just X-rays, and they were using AI. So before he even really looked at a film or a digital representation of it, AI would have already gone through it and sort of screened it and gave him some input. So half his job was done, right? I mean, what's great about that is, you still need the guy, but it's getting more, patients can get in and out quicker.
If there's a gazillion bits of data that can help with a diagnosis, why not access it?
Right.
Right? And we can't store it all in there. So that seems fair.
So what is your business, Ricky?
So I'm a dental technician. We have a our business. We manufacture like dentures.
Their customers
crowns,
are dentists.
bridges, implants.
Okay.
So we work through prescriptions from dentists. So now they're doing digital impressions. They'll send me a file, or they used to take, physical impressions with material and then send them to us, and then would make something that they want a crown. We make a crown. If they want dentures, we do that. So, I mean, our business was open since I think like the 70s with my dad.
Oh, wow.
So we've been doing it for a long
cool.
time, and it's,
It's a grind.
It's a grind, but there were also like the technology has changed for us too, from your hands to now we're doing things, virtually where, you design and digital impressioning and, machines do the work. I have a milling machine that mills where, years ago, someone would have to do it physically with their hands. We have a printing machine that prints things that we have people that would make. So it's changed. But it has its ups and downs, with your family business. So it's been great. I can, you come and go. I can go see my kids play sports when the time
But you
comes.
pay for it.
But I work my butt off.
You
know
gotta-
what I mean? Like if I miss a day, I have to go in earlier another day.
He was at work this morning.
Oh,
and
wow.
it's the weekend.
Okay.
Look, I don't complain. It's been great.
I know, I
The
didn't
business
say
has
you
been
were
great to my
complaining. I didn't say
family,
you were
but you work hard, and I don't even do the financial part of it. Like my mom's still involved. My wife does it. I'd lose my mind if I had to do, like the payroll and the taxes and all this other stuff. Like I'm there working, but
Well, it's good to know what you're good at, right? And what you're not, right? And you outsource what
He's
you're not
really
good at.
good at podcasts.
managing the people that I work with is the biggest challenge I have. Trust me, like getting good employees, and I have good employees. Trust me, but they come and go, and it's hard to find people now that are even in their 30s that do what I do. And
It's a very unique skill.
the work ethic has changed. Huge.
Not for the better.
Not in a good way. No.
All right.
So
Yeah.
We're going to shift now to health and fitness, because that's something that obviously, going to a gym at 6 years old, that's becomes instilled in you. But you definitely have the nutrition component as well. Explain a little bit about that, like your focus on health and stuff.
So I would say always been active with the gym, but as we get older and life happens, sometimes you slack off a bit. And I found myself during COVID at 253 pounds at 6 foot tall, which, I held it mostly, what guys do, around my belly and my face. And so COVID let me kind of take a long look at myself. And at the time, my dad was in the nursing home because he did not take care of himself later in life and had really bad dementia. And it sort of, something went off in my head. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be like that guy, right? I'm not going to allow that to happen. So we all had a lot of time during COVID, right? So I took some time, started researching and really digging into the nutrition side of things, and lost 37 pounds over 18 months. So I did it slowly.
All diet, or was there any fasting or anything? I forget if you did fasting.
I mean, I did intermittent fasting. Actually, was huge for me. It's to me, it was a restriction of time that I could eat, right? But also allowed the autophagy in my body, right? So the recycling of cells, and I felt better after.
You knew about it before we knew about it, but go ahead.
no, we had this.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do for the people that are watching on YouTube. We will have a link. This is the second time we've been able to refer to that. We're gonna have a link to the episode where we talked about fasting. But go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big piece of to me, it was like, okay, I'm not going to have anything to eat before noon, outside of coffee and MCT oil. And MCT oil does not get digested through the normal sort of system that normal food is. It goes straight to the liver and creates ketones. So you're still getting energy, right? And you end up in ketosis. So you're burning fat. You're not burning glucose. So it's that was sort of what kickstarted me.
What oil is it? What is it?
I have some of it. I don't. He's the one who told me to get it.
I just want you to say what
MCT.
it is. Okay.
MCT. Right? So it's medium chain triglycerides, right? Okay. And it usually comes from coconut oil. And it's a type of fat that does not go through digestion through like the stomach, small intestine, large intestine. It goes straight to the liver for consumption, and then it creates ketones. Right, everyone's probably heard of ketosis, right? The keto diet, and it's just a different way the body burns.
Right? Or you just no carb.
I did like.
I feel like I asked you this on that episode too. Okay.
Yeah, but that's good to know.
If you don't mind, because I know you've helped me with this before.
Sure.
When we're done with this, if you have any recommendations for the right MCT oil, and I know the element,
I want to know that myself,
the element stuff, right? Like you made a recommendation.
Yeah, I could do that.
We'll add that to the show notes. The stuff that you kind of swear by, right? If that's okay.
And I get it right on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's super easy to get. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, cool. So keep going.
Yeah. So my journey started honestly with intermittent fasting and just cleaning up my diet and not drinking my calories. And I think, and I'm not talking beer. It's just stuff you wouldn't even think about. Like I loved Gatorade at the time, and I was consuming 500 plus calories of Gatorade a day. And it's, so I just switched to water, black coffee, black iced tea, and milk. Right. And that's really all I still drink.
What I'm impressed with you though, is that if you're in a controlled environment, I'm at home, I don't have to go out, visit a customer, then it's easier to make sure you're eating the right stuff. But all of a sudden, you're an outside sales rep, you're on the road here, you're on the road there, you never know what time. That's when that becomes difficult. So you bring your shit with you, right?
Well, or you just don't know how to make good choices with what you have. Like even if you stop at a gas station, right, instead of going for the chips or the hot dog, right?
Don't get the corn dog.
No.
You can go hot fries though, right? Can you get hot fries?
No. No, I mean, you could get
peanuts or something, right?
Well, nuts, beef jerky. They have, some people cannot digest dairy well, but I'm okay with certain forms of dairy. So I'll do like a shake that's a protein shake out of, milk or what have you. And then also sometimes they'll have hard boiled eggs at gas stations already put in a container. There's ways to eat. And
right.
I think the great thing about intermittent fasting is I'm not having to worry about breakfast, right? So I'm just dealing with lunch really.
Wait, so
that I have to prepare for.
Do you do the 18-6? What do you do?
So right now I don't eat anything after 8, and typically I don't eat before 12.
Okay, so that's 18-6, right?
So that's
no? Yeah. 12,
Ish.
13, 14, 16.
16, 8.
16-8, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. 18-6. Oh, that would have worked too, right?
18-6.
Want to make sure my shit adds up to 24.
18-6 is what I do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah. Like I don't eat till dinner.
I got you.
Let me ask you this though about the coffee. So I drink, all I drink is black coffee and water.
Okay.
But
I was realizing that like I like hazelnut coffee, but you can't get hazelnut coffee. It's flavored. There's sugar in that, right? Like if you have the pods.
No, you can get hazelnut coffee that isn't sugar.
In the pods, though, they're all artificially flavored, right? So that's sugar.
Probably.
It's probably not good for you, right?
Well, I think the pod will tell you whether it's there or not.
It says artificially flavored on it.
No, but it'll tell you if there's calories in it.
If
it's not about the calories to me, it's about the sugar.
No, but does coffee have calories? Barely, right?
So like I'll give you an example. So like a venti pike place at Starbucks, maybe it'll have 30 calories in it, but it's negligible, right? Based on the caffeine effects of it, right? So
it's more of the sugar for me. Like I try to lay off sugar when I'm trying to eat
That's my problem.
Right.
If you look at the box, Ricky, it's got it. They have to say whether there's calories in it or not. So I would look at that.
I think you're good.
But that's
Sometimes
the only
they're
thing I
artificial.
Yeah, so it's coffee, water, and then when I get home, I'll have dinner.
You don't drink soda, do you? Mm-mm. That's my problem.
I used to, but not at all. I don't.
I got to stop that. No,
he likes the energy drinks.
That's true. He knows that.
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm always telling you how I've quit for 2 days, and then I talk to him a week later, and I'm like, I've quit for 2 days.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is my problem that I have. So I can fast for 4 days, but so when I'm on the 18/6 and I get home and I eat dinner, I like to have a snack as like when I'm watching TV after dinner.
I can't do that.
That's my downfall. So my question to you is, if you'd have a snack, like what would it be?
Well, he's good,
but you don't eat after 8.
Well,
so if you were like watching something and you just were going to sit down, what do you have? That's
he'd drink milk or he'd eat beef.
What?
But I like I like a salty snack. Like I like popcorn.
That was going to be my question. Are you a salty guy or a sweet guy?
I'm a salty guy.
Salt.
Yeah.
So do you like pork rinds?
The like the puffy ones that are like, yeah.
So Epic, the company Epic, EPIC, has pork rinds that are baked and with Himalayan salt on it. Okay. It's just protein and some fat.
And that's crunchy.
Does it taste good?
That's like a crunchy.
I always thought of pork rinds, my grandfather used to eat, and they were just nasty. But these are really good, and they're they're
so
not
they used
the
to taste like
thing,
styrofoam, right? They used to take like
but these are good. No,
but they're like puffy, right?
Yeah. It's like having a chip. Yeah, it's crunchy and salty, and
So that's cool.
I always have those
in
my
sure.
We'll add that to the show notes.
Yeah,
too.
that
and on YouTube, I might even show it on the screen. Who knows?
I like Smart Food. Smart Food's my downfall.
Smart Food is good. Yeah,
Is Smart Food that bad for you though?
It can't be great.
Yeah.
It's not.
What
good.
is it? Popcorn.
So popcorn's not great for you, even
as a dentist
without
or
stuff.
Dental world.
Well, it's not to get too geeky here, but most corn in the United States is saturated in glyphosate, which is Roundup, which completely destroys your gut microbiome. Which
it's
affects
in Roundup.
Everything.
So even like microwave popcorn, stay away from microwave popcorn.
Did you say
glyphosate?
Do you say it's in Roundup?
Roundup.
Glyphosate. Yeah. So glyphosate. Glyphosate is Monsanto's Roundup, right? It's the same
you
thing.
Knew this?
So
and you
when
still
he said
eat it?
Roundup, no, I didn't know.
So, but John, that's all. It's not just corn. It's most wheat, corn, or soy crops that are farmed in the United States
because they spray it to protect it.
Well, what happens is that it's all MGO'd crop, so the Roundup won't kill it. It's genetically modified, so it won't kill it, but it kills all the bugs around it. And one of the things that Roundup does
kills everything. It kills
but
you.
With the wheat, and this is why people have such issues with gluten, is once it's harvest or right before it's harvest, they spray it again with glyphosate to dry it out.
Jesus.
So it's easier to process. So that's why when folks who may have a gluten sensitivity in the United States, they go overseas and they go to France and have a croissant there, it doesn't bother them because that's illegal in Europe to use for farming.
I was going to ask you this question too, and I think we talked about this before. They were talking about, I saw a graphic where like products now and products in the 90s, if you look what's in them, there was
75,000 more ingredients.
There were like 6 ingredients in the 90s, and now there's like 20 ingredients in the same product. But someone said the same thing that you did. Like in Europe, it's not like that. It's like that here. So because it's legal here to put all crap in our food.
So I'll give you a perfect example. So there was just something in the news recently where it was Fruit Loops. They were killing Kellogg's because if you looked at the American version of it, there was all these red dye number 40, all these sort of chemicals in it. But if you looked at the one over in Europe, it was like, beet juice for the coloring and
ground up cigarettes because they're big in smoking in Europe.
Well, it's because it's cheaper product, but it's also, this is going to sound horrible, but it's more vibrant colors when they use that. So it's more attractive to kids. So it's horrible, right? It's the big food, big farm. I don't want to sound like a
I'm with you.
I thought it was more like a
but
preservative thing, like it lasts longer. So
no,
they
but then they're also doing things to make you get hooked on it and eat more.
Yeah,
and,
oh yeah, what's sad is there are food scientists that's
their game.
I mean, what's the slogan for Lay's? You can't just eat one. Literally, I know myself, but I'm not even done chewing the first one. I'm already trying to grab that second one, right? I mean, it's
funny. You said Monsanto, and when you hear that name, don't you just think bad? Like, does Monsanto do something? I mean, no offense to the people that are affiliated with Monsanto, but I hear that word and I just think something's dirty, right?
Oh yeah.
Do they do anything good? It sounds horrible, and probably
they'll spin it that they did, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I was gonna say that the flavors and things, aren't they chemicals that they just make something taste like something else? Like they're not.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like a Twizzler, strawberry Twizzler, it kind of tastes like strawberry, but it's not, right? It's they get it just close enough.
But
right?
It tastes so good though. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah. One last on the health and fitness. One last question. Let's say you're targeting middle-aged men who realize, you know what, I'm a little bit heavier of the midsection, or I'm not eating right. Do you have one simple change that they can make to their diet or something that would provide a lot of good for them? Just one little thing, like tomorrow, just do this or don't do that.
I'll give you a quick one. Lay off the soft drinks.
True.
Well, I was going to say
that's Ricky's
that's
Ricky's good recommendation.
So I mean, you really want to go to just whole natural foods, right? Ultimately, but I think not drinking your calories. It's so easy to drink your calories. So switching out Gatorade or soda for water, huge difference. But I think honestly, the biggest thing, and I think this affects people's, I would say, build in general, is sleep. Sleep will.
I agree with you.
Really?
Just as much as, if you don't get the right sleep, your body metabolizes things very differently. It's in fight or flight, higher cortisol levels. Because
I've read a couple of books on. I don't know if you recommend it or not, but I've read a couple of books on sleep. And the other thing is what you do hours before sleep can be important too, right? Like
in the morning.
Don't be staring at the TV right before you decide to go to sleep, right? There's a lot of good.
What about the people with apnea and stuff? You never get a sound sleep because I
have
feel like
apnea.
that. Yeah, but you wear a device.
I do.
I don't.
And I'm glad now
like,
all of our followers now
difference.
can picture me wearing a device.
But I'm just, but that might, because I feel like a lot of people in this country have.
They don't do that.
And they don't address it. And
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good. All right, let's shift to we're calling it the fun and personal segment. You like history?
I do.
Correct.
I do.
What's your favorite historical place that you visited?
Probably. Well, I don't know if you've been to the. You guys probably been to the Big E, right?
What? Isn't that the
Big E?
Is that a supermarket?
The Big Eastern Exposition in Springfield,
It's Springfield.
Mass?
It's the big. It's the.
Oh, is it a
Big E.
fair? Is
My
it a
friend
fair?
goes all the time.
It's a fair.
Yeah.
It's a fair.
we have the Topsail
It's like
Fair.
a big flea market.
Oh,
type
Well,
thing,
it's
right? Well,
it's
bigger than
each,
that. But I mean,
each state's got a building, and it's massive.
It's big.
But what they've
I did
they've
not know
done
about
is
that. I didn't know about that.
so they've brought in old houses from all over New England, and they've put them there. They have a blacksmith shop built in like the 1700s.
Oh, so this is something that happens all the time. It's not like a
every year. Every year.
But is it once a year that they do this, or is it all
for like,
year?
It's like 3 weeks a year.
Okay.
Yeah,
my friend
yeah.
Joe goes every year.
Should we go?
I mean, it's
Oh,
cool.
John, it's fun.
Yeah,
How far
fun.
away is it from where you live?
40 minutes, maybe.
Oh,
It's only a couple hours
Yeah.
for us. Like Springfield.
has it already happened?
Yeah. It's basically September, the month of September.
Okay, let's go. So
Next year.
So it's
Next
cool
year.
because does it change every year, or is it for the same?
What do you
every
mean?
year? Like every
It's pretty much the same vendors every year, but they're always frying something different every year, right? One
Okay.
year is fried butter and then fried Kool-Aid. There's always something different, but I would say.
By the way, you were the guy that just
hundreds-
told us to be healthy, and now you're talking about fried butter and fried.
I have an 80-20 rule, right? Because if you try to be perfect 100% of the time, it's not going to work.
fair, right.
So
Ricky
as long
comes
as
real
you're-
close,
What?
being perfect all the time.
No, I'm
you
not.
Come very
I
close.
just told I eat freaking smart food. I mean, when I'm on, but sometimes I fall
listen,
off a little bit.
You also have to live, right?
Right.
I mean, 80-20.
He makes me drink too. we stop boozing in the summer.
I make him drink. I make him drink.
We play softball
I
after
would
the
like
games.
any of our friends to see whether that's true or not. I think we're equal participants in that.
Summertime, we spend with our buddies in softball, and we drink
Yeah, too much.
a little bit.
One other question on the whole like travel and history thing. What is one destination that's on your bucket list?
So, Peru.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just
history.
okay.
History reasons. So really just anywhere in Central or South America.
Well,
When it gets a little
let's dive
safer.
into Peru.
They have
What
some
makes
ancient
Peru
alien stuff.
special?
They have some ancient alien stuff in
Yeah,
Peru.
well, it's ancient Mayan and Incan ruins. Would love to get out there for that. In fact, my wife and I were going to do our honeymoon there, but it wasn't really that safe at that point to go out there.
Is it safe now?
It depends on who you ask.
If you ask the travel bureau, they will tell you it's very safe.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get there at some point, but you really need to have like a guide and really some trusted.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to get down.
Have you
there,
done the
for
Cancun
sure.
thing for the Mayan stuff? Because that's a little easier.
No. I've never been to Cancun.
Yeah, it's changed, right?
Yeah,
Over the
yeah.
years, but that was a spot that was near and dear. So my wife's family had timeshare there forever. So when I first started dating her, we would go there, and that's where we got engaged. So,
Did you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But it's changed a lot. I mean, a lot of the storms have beat the snot out of it, but you can't beat. Back in the day, you couldn't beat the water. It was so warm and it was beautiful, and I love the Mayan culture too, and all the ruins and stuff. It was really cool. So I appreciate that. And I'm sure Peru's
that's on my
even
bucket
more
list.
like that was. You didn't feel like you were out of the way. Peru must be neat, right? Because you're probably 6 hours into the woods, and then
You're out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife did 4 or 5 week sort of study abroad when she was in college in Ecuador, which is north of Peru, and she said it's incredible, the rainforests out there. So yeah, on the bucket list.
I should
for
have
sure.
asked. I'm assuming yes. Your wife shares the same love of travel and history
yeah.
as you do.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I'm
cool.
probably more on the history side of things. I mean, she likes history, but I'm a little more of a geek in that.
Now,
regard.
Ricky, there's some standard questions you like to ask our guests. Would you like to ask them?
Standard question?
Yeah.
Well, I want to go into pets for a second.
Okay.
You're pet people, like you have a couple of dogs, a couple of cats.
Big dogs, right?
Big dogs.
So what do you have?
dogs.
What do you have for dogs?
2 bloodhounds.
Oh, that's what Joe has.
Yeah.
2 blood. My best friend has. My best
really?
friend Joe is one of my best friends too, but he's bloodhound.
I don't take offense to that. I don't take offense to
One of
that.
my childhood friends. He has 2 bloodhounds, and they're awesome. I wish I could show you a picture of them on the screen. They're big, right? I mean, they're
100 pounds.
His is like 130, 100. Like they're big.
They get big.
He has
They
a
get big.
girl and a boy. The boy's pretty big, but
They
they're
eat a
awesome
lot.
though.
They eat a
Everybody
lot.
loves them when he takes them everywhere. Like people love them. They're so cool.
Yeah.
So do you?
I love them.
Do you give them special diet? No,
Yes.
because there's something to be said now for there's the dog food thing. With,
He feeds them smaller dogs.
Yeah.
Ricky has a little.
Cats.
Well, you have bigger dogs now a little bit, but Ricky's got a little. Cute,
I have a
cute little-
husky, a Shih Tzu, and a Pomsky, which is half.
Oh, you're just calling him a
Pomeranian.
straight husky now.
He's pretty much a husky.
He's like 80% husky.
He's 80% husky.
Okay.
But he looks just like a husky. But I don't have dogs that are over 40 pounds.
Well, he might be pushing it.
He's probably he might be. But
I was gonna say huskies are usually pretty good size, right?
But he's Pomeranian. He's like a
He thought he was getting a
supposed to
mix
be a
that was
Pomsky,
50-50, but it clearly was like
But
all
he's,
husky.
yeah, he was.
Gotcha.
We looked at his mom. His mom was 100% husky. So
okay.
But I'm just saying for feeding them, there was a time we just give them like dry dog food and now people have really.
If you're into health with a dog that big, that could cost you thousands of dollars a month.
Oh, Petco loves me.
Yeah,
Petco
dogs
loves
your
me.
dogs must eat a lot. Of food.
So that's a funny story. So my oldest now, she's had gastric issues since she was a puppy, and so she would always have this hacking thing after eating. So we switched to raw, but raw pellets. They're frozen pellets, and I have a big freezer. We keep them there. We pull them out, and it's like 85% raw beef. So it's organ meat, muscle meat, and then 20% of it's like carrots, blueberries, green beans, all sort of ground up, and that's what they eat.
So you heat it up. You
throw it on the. I throw it in a tray and let it defrost for 15 minutes and throw it in their bowls.
Oh, cool. Okay, and that's really healthy. And
oh yeah, so she doesn't have the gastric reflux anymore.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. One of our Shih Tzus had they both did. They were allergic to like chicken, anything. We had to go completely organic. Like chicken's rough for dogs.
I feed my dogs
everything.
I feed my dogs Fruit Loops.
Well, you know what's funny
which kind of Fruit Loops is there really?
No, I care about them, so it's European Fruit Loops.
All right, so make it European Fruit Loops.
No, the other you like to ask the band thing.
Well, your music too. So, right, Johnny said that in your bio that
we all like music
I don't know how
on some
much
level,
into
right?
music you are, but
I have a very wide sort of genre.
It's hard to find someone that says I don't like music.
Well, some people are really into music. I mean,
but I think there's always a connection to music. Ask them the questions.
Well, no, so we would ask what's your favorite band or do
you have a favorite band?
Yes, Pearl Jam.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. So
do you want to know set 2 and 3, or do you just want to know as 1?
What do you mean?
A lot of times you say 3.
Your top 3 bands of all time. We sometimes ask.
Are they all the same genre?
Because it goes back now. Because see, I love the Foo Fighters. Like right now, they're like my favorite band now. But
it used to be Nickelback.
No, and but I mean the Beatles to me all time would be, like we were always like Beatles, Stones, and but like Pearl Jam.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's so it is, and I try to tell
Metallica
Johnny that.
Would be up there with me, I think. Metallica.
I saw Metallica
you and Ricky are going to
live.
go out on a date.
When I saw them live, and I saw one live, it was it was like I was like, oh my god, like they were so.
I saw them
tight.
at the Fleet Center. I saw them at the Fleet Center. Incredible.
I think I saw them in Worcester. Like a lot of when I was younger, like Worcester Centrum was where we would go to see concerts. And
now, what's that place called now? It's the because they have cheerleading,
like the DCU Center, maybe or something like that.
Yeah, it's DCU.
But just seeing them live, they were phenomenal. They were tight. Like they're like the lights, like the music, like everything was together, and they were awesome.
That's
I love
awesome.
Metallica.
Cool. Do you want to do front man or front woman? I guess whatever. Do you have a favorite front man on a band?
I got to go Eddie Vedder.
I was gonna say he's gonna say Eddie Vedder.
Hands down.
Yeah. And
Hands down.
great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
what about Dave Grohl though? You gotta Dave Grohl.
He's good.
He's a good.
I've never actually seen them in concert though. I've seen Pearl Jam 4 times in concert.
I just missed Pearl Jam. They came here, and my friend wanted me to go, and I couldn't. It was like on a Tuesday. I couldn't get out of where I couldn't go, but I really wanted to go because I love them live too. They're awesome. I mean, they're one of my favorite bands too. I love, I have a playlist. I just let it roll at work, and
all right.
You can't go wrong with Pearl Jam.
I think it's time for the Connecticut State Trivia.
Oh boy.
Before I start asking these questions, do you think you're going to do well at this, or how do you think you're going to do?
Probably
you think you know
not.
your state? You think you know your state? Some of these are fair.
Pretty well.
Some of these are fair. Some of these are fair.
Pretty well. Okay.
I always say the same thing, and then Ricky's like, "Why would I know this? Do you want me to? Do you want?
No, I don't. The last guy was from Maine, and like I don't fucking what I know about Maine.
But I feel like let's let Ricky. I'm not. I wouldn't know these either. Maybe I know one, but let's give you a guess, okay? And then we'll let.
Can I ask him
Jesse,
a question?
What?
So Pepe is supposed to be the pizza, right? That's like the big Connecticut. I was reading about Sally's. Is Sally's another place that has good pizza? Like, is it better? Or worse?
Yes, but I like modern.
Okay, so she's
so all three. Okay. It's Sally's, Pepe's, and Modern are all in the same part of New Haven. And I like Modern better.
Okay.
Do you know there's a Pepe's in Watertown?
Yeah, there's one up here now.
I went to
someday we're gonna have you here, right? And then you're gonna bring some, your Modern, maybe a Sally's and a.
Why don't we go to him?
Oh, we can
take
go to
the
you.
show on the road. All we need is the Roadcaster.
Sure. We'll take
it's
you
a plug
out
for the
Sant'Arpio.
Roadcaster.
So do you know Sant'Arpio's in Regina? Because if from your
Regina
cousin,
would be more recognizable than Sant'Arpio's, I feel
so
like.
Pizza Regina, well, that's North End, but there's one up here now.
But they were in all the
Peabody,
malls
actually.
at one point.
But that's our pizza that I would probably say we should do like a blind taste test and see what we like.
I'm down with that.
I love it. We should try. We should do that.
All right. You guys ready?
Okay. I'm not ready, but go ahead.
Okay, we're going to let him guess first. Okay.
What he likes me to look stupid.
What? No. I said you're not supposed to know these. You're not supposed to know these.
All right, okay.
Okay, you sell yourself short. Here we go. What Connecticut town is home to the largest maritime museum in the U.S.?
I don't know.
Well, think. Have you ever been to Connecticut?
Yeah, many times.
All right, do you know the answer?
Yes, I
What?
think.
What?
Groton.
No.
No?
Mystic.
That was number 2.
There you go.
I've never heard of
two.
Mystic.
You got to
Really?
go to
No.
Mystic. That's
Oh,
I mean,
it's
I go
great.
to Hartford. I've gone to New Haven. My friend,
My dad grew up in
my friend
Hartford.
actually lived in Farmington. I used to go to like Farmington.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We used to go up like
Okay.
84. It wasn't too far off.
Yeah.
Like it was off 84. Was it? I'm
What's Farmington? Oh, it's literally it's right.
Yeah, it was right off it,
84.
yeah.
okay.
Exit 39. Yeah.
All right, so that stumped both of you.
Yeah.
Number 2. What is Connecticut's oldest city, founded in 1633?
I'm going to say New Haven for every answer. Go.
That's not right. Near Hartford.
Yeah. Weathersfield.
No, begins with a W. Windsor.
Windsor is wow.
Windsor is
okay.
the
I've heard of
oldest
Windsor.
city.
Okay.
I've heard
Yep,
of Windsor.
oldest city. Okay,
Okay.
I like this one. Connecticut is called the Nutmeg State. How many nutmeg trees grow naturally in Connecticut?
These are easy, John.
4,000.
4,000. What's your guess?
Now, does this work like The Price is Right? If I go one,
say
anything
one.
up to
One tree.
4,000?
If you do one, you'll
One tree.
Yeah,
One.
the answer is 0.
Oh, jeez.
Nutmeg isn't native to Connecticut and doesn't grow there at all. And there's I went
it's a trick question.
No, I went
It's
a
a
little bit
freaking
further.
trick
There were these like scam artists that were in the state that would sell
Okay.
something that was supposedly nutmeg. I don't know if they're like acorns or something, and it was just wood.
Yeah.
So that's why they got the name the Nutmeg State, because these people were trying to scam people. Isn't that interesting?
Interesting.
You're the Nutmeg
That
State,
is
and there is no
interesting.
nutmeg.
No nutmeg.
Okay. Interestingly enough, you might get this because it starts with New Haven, Connecticut is considered the birthplace of which iconic American food first served in 1900?
Hot dog.
Nope. But if not the hot dog,
The hamburger.
yes. Now it's
Ted's.
up for debate, but there's a place called Louis' Lunch.
And there's also Ted's in Wallingford. They said are somewhere.
Similar?
Yeah.
So this
yeah,
was like
yeah.
in 1900. I saw how they still make them at Louis' Lunch. It's really cool. They have like a grate.
Steam.
No,
Right? There's
no,
steam?
they have grate, and they stick 9 of them, like 3 by 3. Then another
Okay.
grate goes on top of it. Then the grate goes like this, like sideways, and they put it into an oven that's like a vertical oven, and it just it's really funky looking. Now I would think all the juices would drip out of it,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
But yeah, it's. But there's other states that claim that they had it, but that's I'm going to give it to Connecticut. I'm going to say Connecticut has that. Okay, this is a multiple choice.
B.
Don't use the same strategy you used before. I'm going to tell you that right now. What is the population of Connecticut? A, 3.6 million, B, 3.8 million, C, 4.0 million, or D, 4.2 million?
Is Ricky going first?
I said B.
I just told you not to do B.
I know, but I had to go with B. What am I
So, well, I'm going to give you a chance to guess it. Ricky says 3.8 million.
I'm going
it
to go with
basic-
D.
D, which is 4.2,
4.2.
3.6. A.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That was as of the 2023 census. So unless 400,000 or whatever.
Can I ask you a question? So I always say B. You knew that?
You said you always say B.
Oh, okay.
So
Did
I
I
just
say
told
that?
you not. You can't
oh.
get mad at me. I just told you don't guess B.
Okay.
Didn't I just say
Did
that?
I say that out loud? I don't
Jesse,
even know.
I said don't guess B. Didn't I say that? Okay.
You said don't do it.
Okay.
You always do.
You
What
did
is-
say that.
This is funny, I think. What is Connecticut's state animal?
The badger.
No. The robin.
That's a bird. That's another question coming
Oh.
up.
Oh.
So you got that one right. I'm
It's
gonna
state
give
animal?
you a hint. Think of the sports team that used to play here that left.
Oh, the
Whales?
whale.
The sperm whale.
Okay.
Isn't that funny?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connecticut once had a law about pickles. What strange test determined whether a pickle was legally considered a pickle? It's got it. It had to bounce. That was a law. It had to bounce. If it
had
didn't
to
bounce
bounce?
off the ground, then it wasn't
All right.
Who the
That's
hell wants to
interesting.
eat it after you're throwing it on the ground?
That's a good point.
Right?
What was the name of
keep your
Connecticut's first newspaper established in 1755?
Tribune.
No, you should get this.
Hartford Current.
That's what it's called now.
yeah.
It was called the Connecticut Current, which is now the Hartford Current. So you got that. What is Connecticut's state bird?
Robin.
You got it. In what year did the Hartford Whalers leave Hartford, and where did they relocate? Ricky,
I should know this.
yes, you should. That's why I put it in. I was stunned because
They didn't go to Vancouver.
I thought
Where
it
the
was.
hell did they go?
I thought it was way earlier. I was really thrown by this.
Was it in the
It's
90s?
It was in the 90s.
yeah.
It was in the 90s.
It was in the
I'm
90s.
just trying to think where they go though.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I-
Carolina Hurricanes.
That is true.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
So where did they? What year?
92.
No.
No,
I
later.
want to say 98.
197.
Okay.
I thought it was way earlier than that. Okay. What is the distinction of the border between Connecticut and Rhode Island?
The distinction?
The distinction. There's a very big distinction about that border.
Isn't there a mountain there?
Could be. That's not this distinction.
Huh. I don't know.
It is the shortest border between two U.S. states.
Oh, okay.
I think that's kind of neat. I mean, that's definitely trivia.
Probably because of Rhode Island though, because it's so small, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was unique.
It is unique.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a trip.
Last but not least, this is another one where whoever gets the closest, okay? In 1901, Connecticut became the first state to pass a speed limit law for cars.
1901.
What was the maximum speed allowed?
Do we have? Oh, this is not multiple choice. This is whoever.
Just guess whoever's closest.
I mean, it was
What was the
friggin'
max,
Model T?
What was the speed
What kind
limit?
of car was it?
What was the speed limit in 1901 in Connecticut?
20 miles
Ricky,
an hour.
you-
I say 20.
You gonna
I'm
do
gonna
the
say-
thing again? You gonna do
No,
what?
no. I mean, I was going to. I'm gonna say 10.
12. How crazy is that? You might as well jog, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, so that was it for the trivia questions. I guess before we go, what is next for you? Whether in health, career, personal life. I mean, I think you do a little bit of nutrition stuff, right, for some people, and I think if all goes well, that might become something. So, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I sell software now, but
True.
My passion is health and fitness, right? I think I geek out over it. I'm super passionate about it. It's one of those things where I could do it even if I didn't get paid for it, right? And I think that's the direct. It's my passion. It's my superpower, if you will. I retain that sort of information really well. So I've been helping some folks out now for a year or so. Ranges from high school to college athletes with performance to sort of folks that are in their later years of life looking for mobility and just overall nutrition advice. I'm hoping to spin that business up here in the next couple of years and transition out of software at some point and just do health and fitness.
Here's our
coaching.
promise.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Like, does diet, like, inflammation's a problem, right? For everybody. Can that, like, your diet, like,
That's what it all is.
decrease your, like, inflammation in your body?
Yep.
Like, for
100%.
your joints and things like,
Yes.
Yep.
because that's
100%.
That's something I need. Like,
Yeah, but it means you got to change your diet.
I know.
You probably know
but
the
that's-
right things to
Well,
eat.
sometimes it's you could still have the things you want. It's just making a better choice or substituting certain things within that, right? I mean, something like I love mac and cheese, but I don't eat real pasta anymore. I eat bonza pasta, which is made of chickpea.
Yeah, I've had that. My parents, my father.
Really? You
So
don't ever
it's-
have pasta anymore?
I try to stay away from wheat products
Oh.
in general, unless I'll have like sourdough, which is it's a fermented part of wheat, so it's not as bad for you.
Yeah.
But I don't mess with wheat.
Jesse, I've had
Mammoths.
chickpea. They have a snack because I like spicy snacks.
Oh yeah, what are they called? The
It was like a chickpea, but it was like a spicy
looks like a curl.
chickpea.
It looks like a curl.
Yeah, they look like little like
I think
beans,
I've
like
seen those.
beans. But they
Yeah.
were like I don't know. It's not Frank's Red Hot, but like they were spicy. Like they had spices on. It was a pretty good.
then you just got to worry about the
snack.
salt with a lot of those
Well-
things. But I know that's not as bad as sugar. I know
Yeah.
that. I know that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's our promise. Whenever you do launch that, we will support it. We'll let our folks know and have you on again when, you're getting off with that. So that's a promise.
Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that.
Anything else, Ricky?
No, it was awesome. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
It was. I know you know
great,
Johnny,
guys.
but it was pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, thanks for joining us. And
For sure.
Ricky,
Let's do the pizza thing.
absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for sure. He's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask him. We gotta get the.
No, we can.
Yeah,
I feel more comfortable. We can take the show on the road. And again, congratulations! You're our first remote
Yeah,
guest.
and
As
so
well.
I always
Worked
think
out
it's
well.
successful. I think it's pretty good.
Well, you watch. We'll probably. I'll go to edit it and it won't work. We'll have to do this
I'm always
again.
available. We can do a redo, John, if need be.
No,
right?
this is good stuff. So I think we're going to be good. So, Ricky,
Well, take care, Jesse, and for the rest of the audience out there, we'll see you.